Hey gamers, welcome to Game Time with Kyle. That is myself. I thought on today's episode we kind of do a system overview of something a little bit more uncommon, not necessarily rare, but you don't see a whole lot of these nowadays. This is the Atari Lynx. It was the first and only handheld system from Atari. And, well, there was two models technically, but I thought on this episode we kind of do a little bit of an overview, kind of talk briefly about the history, as well as show off some gameplay footage of a couple games, and just kind of talk about all in all what a great system this originally was when it came out. So we'll do that next on Game Time. Thanks everybody for watching. Stay tuned. Alright everybody, welcome back. This is the Atari Lynx. This is actually the Model 2. Let me talk a little bit about the history here. Atari was originally planning on doing like a handheld release. They kind of talked about it as early as 1986. And lo and behold, 3 years later in 1989, they did release the Atari Lynx Model 1. And that was more of a gray system. It was actually a little bit longer than this. And just was a huge, huge system. They finally redesigned it in 1991, and more of a competition for the Nintendo Game Boy, and as well as the upcoming what was that? Sega? Oh, what's the name? Game Gear. Sega Game Gear. It was kind of competition for that, and unfortunately, in sort of the race, it finished pretty far behind the Nintendo Game Boy as well as the Game Gear. But a lot of people still have fond memories of this. So, the system itself is actually very huge. It doesn't look really big here on camera. And I've seen many gameplay footage of the game. And I'm thinking it's a nice small system. It is definitely portable, yes. Handheld, yeah, to some extent. But as far as pocket size, definitely a big no. Just for comparison's sake, here I get a little bit better lighting here. Just for comparison's sake, I have the PlayStation Vita. This is a sort of a brand newer system, and if we were to kind of get in the corner here just a little bit, you can see the Lynx is a bit longer than that even. The Vita screen's very nice, but the thickness is kind of the key point here, and I doubt I can get it to stand up by itself. Not on the... There we go. Just a little bit in comparison here, you can kind of see a huge size comparison here. So this was definitely just a beast of a system compared to the Vita. And this, a lot of people do consider the Vita pretty large to begin with. I don't necessarily, but so yeah, that's the Atari Lynx. This is kind of neat though. We got a very nice D-pad. I actually like it. Button-wise, on to turn the system on. Power actually is to turn it off, and you can turn the backlit screen. The Atari Lynx was the very first ever handheld console to feature a color screen as well. And I'm not sure, but I did hear as well as a backlit screen. I don't think that one's true, but I know the color one is true. Just a mono sound. The sound only comes out of here. It's not stereo, unfortunately. And B and A buttons, kind of like a Nintendo style there. I got some options here, restart, and option 2. And holding down these two actually flip the system, or the screen I should say, flips upside down. So it accommodates left-handed players more. D-pads here, and here we have the couple extra A and B buttons. So, and I know it was the first system to do that. Nothing much on the bottom except for the battery pack. It takes 6 AA batteries, quite the battery hog. Another reason why a lot of people really didn't like it, especially compared to the Game Boy at the time. but pretty moderate there. And on the top, bunch of things here on the top. The brightness of the screen toggles there. The power itself kind of put a wall adapter in there for power. That's pretty nice if you're at home and whatnot and don't have the batteries. Just stick the power in there. COM links. Maybe we should turn it together right here. COM links is pretty neat. System link. That was pretty cool. The Game Boys did that as well. You can actually hook up several links. There's actually more than 4. You could do a whole bunch there. Headphone jack and the volume switch as well. And there's where the cartridges go themselves. We'll slide those in just a moment. And on the back, some nice rubber grips. So it is, despite its huge bulkiness, it is pretty nice to hold, especially you know, with 2 hands. It is kind of a nice system. It's very well designed, especially this Model 2. Model 1 again was much longer, so it was overall really good redesign. The games themselves, when they originally came out, had this is a game here, Chips Challenge, highly recommended by the way, great puzzle game. Were just kind of flat, and it was kind of hard to kind of pull them out. That I don't like it, the exposed circuit part of the game itself. I don't really like that. But they did change it up a little bit later with these types of game cards where you could actually pull in and out pretty quickly and much easier. So, for an example, when I first got it, like an idiot, when I first got it, and for those of you who do have a Lynx, you'll laugh at this. When I first got it, I was putting the game in like this and pushing down on it a little bit because it seems like that would be the obvious way it goes. And I just could not get any of the games to work there. And it finally dawned on me at least 2 or 3 minutes later that, oh, they go like that. So, I don't know. But let's take a look at some gameplay footage next, see what some of these games look like on the great and often forgot about Atari Lynx. Alright, game time. This is going to be very weird to record on. You kind of have to hold it at an angle sometimes to see what's going on. If we get a little bit higher, I guess it doesn't totally matter. I'll maybe hold it kind of like that. Alright, this is a game called Chips Challenge, and again, sorry for the poor quality, but a very fun game and a puzzle game I highly recommend. This is a fantastic game, and ironically enough, I never heard of the game itself until I first got the Atari Lynx, which actually was just very recently. I actually won it off eBay, and a couple games came with it, and this was one of the games, and it is fantastic. It's just an overall fun game here. So you are basically the computer nerd, and each stage is going to be a nice puzzle here, and we have to go and collect all these computer chips in order to pass to the next stage. So this first stage, basic tutorial, and there we go. You have some score and time limit and everything there. Alright, stage 2. Now we get a little bit more trickier here, because we have some block puzzles. Oh, went one too far. So we'll collect our computer chips here. Step on it. There we go. I am also playing, maybe I'll turn the brightness down just a little bit there. Actually, that kinda helps a little bit. Alright, we gotta watch out for these bugs here. Get that chip, run like hell. Oh, not quite. But yeah, after playing this game for the first time and kind of just going online and reading and taking a look at what a lot of people considers to be some of their favorite Lynx games, that was nice. Chips Challenge is always high on their list and recommended and everything. So I find it kind of funny and ironic that this is a game that I never even heard of prior to getting it. And now all of a sudden we have the thing. So now here's kind of some interesting puzzles, and this is the last one we'll do gameplay-wise. We have some water, we have some ice, fire, and a conveyor belt. And obviously we can't get the computer chip there. And we can't get that one there, because we have this. So we have water. Let's see what we need here. Magnet for the conveyor belt. And we picked something up in this area here. Now we can walk on the ice. We can pick up the shield to go through the fire. And we got the magnet now. We can walk on the conveyor belt. And then we can go to the exit. So yeah, a fantastic, and kind of keeps track of your score and like I said, everything here. So just a fantastic puzzle game overall, and this is something that we've never seen again. So now we got a little bit more of a trickier puzzle. Now we have things we have to kind of press there. Not to mention extremely addicting. So yes, well, I might as well finish this stage up then. Chips challenge for the Atari Lynx. Highly recommended. I remember playing the stage before. I think there's a flame in the middle, so a little bit of it is trial and error as well. There's a chip. Open that door. Oh. Get that. Sound quality on some of these games is something to be desired. Not really great sound, but it is what it is. Chip, and there we go. So yeah, Chips challenge for the Atari Lynx. Let's see. I think in our second gameplay video, and second and last one, we'll try a platformer that we have to kind of show off some platforming skills of the Atari Lynx. Okay, with the camera moved up a little bit, I think it will help a little bit better. Kind of looking back at the replay, Chips challenge looks pretty awful. This is a game called there we go, Toki for the Atari Lynx. Kind of a platformer shooter type thing. I guess the story. Let's see if we can get. The story is of some just guy who's changed into an ape who can jump on enemies and shoot and crouch. There we go. There's the premise of the game. Platforming at its finest. Again, this was another game that kind of came with my winning bid of the Atari Lynx. Probably a game I wouldn't have looked at normally, but it did come with it, and it actually is kind of fun. It's weird. It's probably not one that I would have bought separately or just on my own, but I guess being one hit, one kill on this one, so it's another one of those extremely old school, difficult old school games where pretty unforgiving. That was pretty good there. Collect some coins. Trying to adjust the brightness so it makes for a nice video, but we have yet to do that. Let's see if we can jump on this guy. There we go. Be careful this time. There we go. I guess this is a power-up down here and a football helmet. Maybe you'll be able to take an extra hit or two. Or not. Very weird, odd game there. But yeah, you can definitely see some of the graphical quality kind of pretty reminiscent of what would be like on the NES. And keep in mind, the Atari Lynx did originally come out in 1989. This Model 2 was in 91, of course, as we said at the beginning of the video, but not even the Game Boy, had, I think, the very original fat Game Boy did not have a backlit screen, nor some color graphics. So the Atari Lynx, if you were to compare the two, definitely is much more of a better high-tech system than the Game Boy actually was. So that is Toki for the Atari Lynx, and that will pretty much do it for this episode of Game Time, kind of covering the Atari Lynx overview. Definitely leave a comment on your opinion of the Atari Lynx, or what you think of it. What is your favorite Atari Lynx game? Maybe leave a comment as to maybe what is one of your favorite handhelds of all time. Definitely like to read those comments here and there. So definitely do that, and subscribe if you like. Not a huge deal if you don't, but we are going to be doing some contests here in the near future, and it's only available to subscribers of Game Time. So do so if you are inclined. Other than that, everyone take care, happy gaming everyone, and stay classic. Game Time out.